everybody, and welcome to the newest indoor adventure in the Four Keeps Origin Part 3. Today is July 19th, 2021, and you are loved. That is a very important message that we like to let every single one of our viewers and listeners know at the beginning of each and every single one of these games. If this is your first time joining us, you can go to youtube.com/indooradventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, including full playthroughs of Curse of Strahd, Ghost of Saltmarsh, Waterdeep, Dragon Heist, Tyrant Security, Tomb of Annihilation, Masks the Green Sun, and many, many more to come. You can also find us anywhere that audio casts are made available for free. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, if you go to patreon.com/indooradventures, you can check up on our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from the community, but also from each other. And if you have any of those questions that you would like to get answered, the easiest way to do that is to join us on our Discord. You can find that in the link or the description of this video or audio cast down below. Or if you're watching this Twitch chat live, guess what? It's in the Twitch chat. It's amazing. So easy. So come on by. Hang out with the cast. We're a friendly lot, I like to believe. So, you know, just hang out. It's free. It's fun. And if you already support us on Patreon, you already support us on YouTube and Twitch and all those other places, and you're trying to think to yourself, where can I go to help support this wonderful show even more? Guess what, buddy? I got your back. Quite literally, in fact, because if you go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, we got t-shirts, we got posters, we got mugs, we got crop tops, throw pillows, shower curtains, aprons, clocks, and most importantly, we also have face masks that are done up with the symbol of Tiamat upon them. That's right, we call them Tia masks, done up in her 5 glorious chromatic colors, where all the proceeds of which go to help support Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to help support a good cause, or possibly help support the show, you can again go to indooradventure.redbubble.com. That is indoor adventure, no S at the end, .redbubble.com. But that is it for my opening spiel. So hey RJ, who you playing today?
Hey everybody, it's me RJ. Today I'm playing Caelum, and we're both he, him. Caelum is a Shatterkai wizard. Wow, it's been so long.
Hello everybody, I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches. Tonight I will be playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter. We're both she, her, and just as a side note, these masks are super soft. I don't know if you guys have tried them out. Like, I wear them at work constantly. So nice. That's me.
Vsoft.
Hoi, I'm Cyber. I play Arjhan. I use he or any pronouns. He uses he, him pronouns, and Arjhan is a cis male, Illyrian, Draconian, Dragonborn, Ranger 15, Cleric 1. Yes, I had to read that.
Hey everybody, I'm Wings, also known as Danae Keener. I'm going to be playing as Coriander, the Eldrin Paladin. Their pronouns are she, they, he. It's situational. My pronouns are she and her. That's it. It's been a month!
And I am the indoor adventurer, he, him, and tonight I shall be your dungeon master. As we've said, it has been indeed a month since we've played. It's wild. Basically, several players couldn't make it over the periods of weeks. My home state was having unprecedented temperatures and my internet melted. But hey, guess what? We're finally back. We're finally together. What a great time. So let's do a little bit of a recap. Last we played in the way ancient times of June, you all had successfully thwarted an attempt by Kyuss to open up the gates to the far realm into Vaskor. It was at that point, though, that you saw a beam of red energy go up and strike out against the moon, which at the time didn't seem like it was going to be as big of a deal as you possibly thought that it was, because again, the city of Vaskor lay in ruins, the floating city having crashed down and fallen to the undercity down below. However, thanks to a successful religion check by Arjhan, a dragon cry was able to ring out across the city, alerting everybody that had, you know, been living down below. So they were able to make it out to safety. However, there were still plenty of casualties. But all things considered, you were successful in the attempt to ward off Kyuss. Now, it was at that point that you discovered a Warforged Colossus, thanks to the help of your faithful friend Ozzy. And Arjhan, you, Bridget, and Ozzy were able to retool this Colossus to not necessarily fight against mages, but more like fix aspects of the city. Over our break, you also designed an addition for this Colossus. Would you like to explain to the audience what that addition is?
No.
All right. So, the addition has been made onto the Colossus. That will be a secret tool that we'll use later. Then Caelum, using a series of sendings, messaged out to Oliviette to ask if she would meet you all in Vaskor. She agreed to do so, and where we last left off in the campaign was that Oliviette, with 2 of her crewmen, were walking over what looked like a hillside, staring down at the now cleared ruin of Vaskor. It's getting better. You guys are, again, kind of moving everything aside. It's been about 10 days since you have resided in Vaskor, and things are looking up. It was at this point that it is, again, later in the evening, as Oliviette is showing up, the sun, or as you are able to look up into the night sky, and even from the ruins of Vaskor here on the plain prime material, looking up, you can see on this full moon that there is almost like a red vein that seems to be on the surface of the moon itself. And that would be where we are going to pick up. But we're going to have a little bit of a montage, I would say. It's been, again, a month since we played. So just during this evening, what is everyone doing? Let's start with Gwen.
Things have been picked up at this point.
Yeah, the majority of the wreckage and rubble has been moved aside. So just, are you still kind of continuing that, or like, are you clearing out like a more residential area at this point?
Yeah, I think Gwen's still busy like lifting heavy things and putting them down situation. And once it gets late enough, I think she'll go find a pub.
Okay.
Start drinking. She will at some point want to ask someone about, like, if anyone knows about the thing that she went to pray at, the little...
the Shrine of Ire, yes.
The shrine, yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Make an investigation check.
Okie dokie. Oh, -1. That's a 2.
Okay. Yeah, Gwen, I would say I would be willing to give you advantage on this, as your previous job before you met the Four Keeps was a bouncer at local bars, so you have a repertoire, a rapport even with the inhabitants of bar folk. Not these ones specifically, but you know how to talk to bar folk.
Yeah.
So I would say roll with advantage, so let's roll again.
Okay. Thanks, bud.
You're welcome.
That's a 10.
Okay. You get about as much information as Caelum had provided you previously, in that there are a collection of gods that are typically seen as malaligned deities, such as Umberly, Talos, the god of storms, which is your deity. He's not a bad guy. He's just sort of absent. Like, as well as Icetisha or Oral, really these deities that just don't seem to really care so much about their followers, but they still command respect. You know that, and based off of your conversation, shrines like this are they're frequently found in port cities and port towns. when you guys were actually walking up the long set of stairs to get to the Isle of Arath's surface, you had passed by one of these shrines a long time ago. And for the most part, these central shrines seem to be primarily to Umberlee, who Gwen, as you may recall, having been closely encountered by this sea witch, that she seems to demand the most respect out of the lot, as she is the unchallenged goddess of the sea. It seems like there are no other deities really who call the sea their profile. Everyone just sort of lets Umberlee have that one, and she seems completely fine with that. And Gwen, as you're kind of asking around, you notice that, like, even now, even though things have been not the best for the city of Vaskor, they still managed to find a small bard group that is willing to play, and they are, it seems like they are just getting ready to actually play through a song. Then we will move over. Caelum, what are you doing during this montage?
This is just for the day, or?
This is for the evening, as sort of a retooling for us as both audience, as players. What is Caelum up to? Is he hanging out with the group? Is he sort of off doing his own thing? Like, if the camera were to pan over him, what would he be in the process or middle of doing?
If it's the evening time, he is with the Grand Archivist, going through the notes and helping where he can for the research on Corvain.
Okay. Sounds good. So you are continuing to do research, and with your scholar feature, this goes by smoothly. You don't even have to make a roll for it because you know where all the information is. It's just a matter of time and process. But for a lich, time is really not like that big of a deal, all things considered. Then moving over to Cori. Cori, I know that you've been spending a lot of time in this small grove that you had found within the city, although completely shrouded in light because you did not want Shar to know that you have been trying to figure out how to harness Shar's powers, but like without asking. Like, you don't want her to know that you're taking this stuff, but like you want it. Partially.
Yeah, essentially. It's throughout an evening, correct?
Yes, this is just like, again, like as the camera's sort of panning over, what is Cori in the process of doing?
She's communing for the most part, meditating. I think that we see her shift to several different seasons. As she sits atop a pedestal where a statue used to be, that has since been toppled. If there are people out and about, she'll just fuck around and talk to them. Like, she's mostly just kind of killing time and waiting for her friends to feel ready to move on.
Okay. And Arjhan, what are you in the middle of?
I think tonight and over the past couple of days, Arjhan would have wanted to get in contact with other branches of Tyrant Security, and essentially just like I wanna kind of just like get them to like go talk to people of importance in government of the cities that they're based in, and just like try and get some foreign aid to Vaskor.
Okay. Yeah. I would say make a
business check.
I was gonna say something like that. I think like what, persuasion might be the best roll for that one.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah.
20.
20? Okay. So realistically, the way that, and we say realistically for this fantasy world, realistically, the way that this would probably work is that you inform the members of Tyrant Security, hey, this is what I would like for you to do. And then using the kind of like using your Abishai call network that is there for figuring out the small parts of things, like trying your major domo system. They are able to help relay the same message that you've delivered. So you don't have to repeat yourself like 5-6 times, and you don't also have to like trust your branch people to deliver your message for you.
I kind of want to just like draft a memo and then like attach essentially the same information that's in the memo, but in like a like formal letter, like company letterhead. And just like get 20 copies of it made throughout the infernal channels and just like have that disseminated.
Yeah.
And just like, hey, you're the branch established in Silk Creek. Here's what you give the community leader. Send whatever the fuck you can.
Yeah.
We need it.
And with your successful 20, you are able to get quite a bit of traction on this, actually. The only town that seems like they don't have as much to give in terms of resources is going to be Shroudport, as well as Arathsk, the isle they're in. Doesn't seem like they have as much resources because they had also been ransacked by the Keshen several months ago, but they are able to do, or they are at least willing to do what they can. You know that after communicating with many of the coast-dwelling cities, that they will be directing resources and trade towards Vaskor, centered primarily out of the city of Andapur, as that is the closest port town to Vaskor itself, as Vaskor has no port and no easy means of inland access for any kind of naval vessel. And as we are panning over each of our characters, and we see Oliviette beginning to make her way through town, Gwen, the song at the bar begins to pick up. And from this bard, who is... they look like a younger half-elf, a little bit lengthier hair, kind of like a sandy blonde. And they are like dirty. They're smudgy. Like they are probably like level 0 bard, but like just getting into it. You actually hear them begin. In the old and ancient times, we grew to fear the dragon's cry. With wings of terror and breath of flame, our rivers boiled and crops decayed. Gone they've been through rifts in sky, giants gone with let sleeping ones lie. But when our city crashed to the earth, there was what one sound that could be heard. The day the dragon came. Dark as jet and swift as night, on wings of shadowed our salvation fly. A roar belonged to the dawn of men. With her blessing we do rise again. The gift of a queen mother that is 5. It is through her that we owe our life. And we shan't forget what her call did mean. The day the dragon came. So when you hear her terrible call, best you heed now one and all, for even the sky falls faster than a wink. Into your enemies her teeth will sink. While Vaskor fell and night was red, never forget who stirred you from your bed. And when all was despair and hell broke through, the day the dragon came. And there are wild cheers from the bar as people begin hooping and hollering, recalling that, yes, the day that a dragon came was indeed a good time. This was not typically the way that things had worked out historically, dragons appearing. Bad. This time, the majority of the city was saved. So it seems like there is much joy and praise here for this day. And Arjhan, unbeknownst to you, with this song being sung, you can feel the holy symbol of Tiamat on your crossbow, just glowing pleasantly.
Indor, that was amazing.
It's much better than the first one.
Oh my god. Gwen's gonna get up and oh boy, hold on. Pause. Inventory. Oh good, I have money now. I'm gonna put 10 gold on there for him.
Yeah, the bard will accept this payment that you have given them. But you see that when you give them 10 gold, they take 1 and they set 9 aside. And it seems like their playing is... they are describing it as more of a charity thing. They don't feel like they're good enough to warrant you paying them the full amount just yet. So this is going back into the city fund, if they can.
Gwen just says, "That was really good. I liked the tone. I liked the words. I liked the themes were great. Yeah."
Well, thank you. I feel like I kind of lost it towards the end. I was working on some rhymes that were maybe a little avant-garde, but I just... possibly some retooling. I'm sure the next version will be fine.
Yeah, did you know that there's... this is, reminiscent of another song that's out there, too?
I did, actually. I've heard that one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was a little confusing.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I didn't know any of the characters that they were describing in there, so I felt what if I did that song but better for this situation rather than one that a bumpkin town no one's ever been to. Lots of people have been to Vaskor. They'll care more about dragon coming here than... Yeah.
I mean, it was a pretty big event too, but
Oh, yeah, don't get me wrong. I'm sure that it was, but we used to have a whole city above this one.
Right, true. Uh-huh.
Not trying to belittle the events that happened over there. But
yeah, no, it's cool. Do you want a fun fact?
Sure.
The song is about... both songs are about the same people.
Get out of town. And he pulls out a small ledger and he's like, if they're about the same people, would you mind do you know who these folks are?
Yeah, I know pretty well.
Oh, really? Are they
Yeah.
I assume they're local heroes now. This is... well, there was already a song written about them. Were they behind the dragon sound? Because honestly, I was this close to shitting my pants when I heard that, but then I looked up and I saw things were falling down and oh well, fight or flight, and I skedaddled on out.
Yeah. No, so the original song, the dragon was his name's Arjhan. He's a dragon. Well, he's a
Wait, isn't that the guy that's been working with Ozzy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hot shit.
So I know, right? And then there's the elf, the pale elf who was possessed, who we beat the shit out of, was Caelum. And then there was the Eilistraee, who was the green... I don't know. I don't remember the song very well. I'm not a bard. But that's Cori. And then the halfling is Gwen. That's me.
And he sort of looks at you. He's going to roll an insight check.
I know.
And he says, I just kind of thought you would be taller. I don't know.
I'm gonna summon Grayskull.
Just, oh.
Is that better?
And he, like, leans down, just, is that the ghost from the town? Did you, like, harness the ghost's power?
Yes.
Absolutely incredible. Roll a deception check.
That's an 8.
Well, he rolled a 4, so
Solid.
solid. This is D&D, folks. He
Yep.
is enamored by your story at the fact that you can harness the power of ghosts, and he. Yes, as Chad is pointing out, yeah, you're something of a necromancer at this point.
I mean, I don't want to toot my own horn, but
Yeah, and so he is like, I feel like he's gonna take some time and just like
sure.
ask you about these questions, like
Yeah.
wants to fill in the rest of the tale.
Yeah.
And as you're doing so, Gwen, you actually recognize a individual coming into this bar. It is a tabaxi that you have not seen in quite some time. Their name is Seaglass, and they are a member of Oliviette's ship. And they are, like, as they're looking around, they notice you and just, like, fuzzy wave in your direction. And then comes up to you and just says, do you know where humble sailors can find a place to rest?
Seaglass, my dude, how has it been? How you be?
It's been good. I was able to stay on Oliviette's crew after the whole
Nice.
you guys leaving.
Yeah, sorry.
Going to the she was going through a rough time.
Yeah. She alright?
She's still going through a rough time a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, she seems happier than she was before.
Good.
Your friend Caelum definitely helped the overall process of this. You know, and then last night he seemed to have made the situation a little bit worse. All things considered, not on his own means, but Oliviette and your friend Cori had exchanged speaking stones, standing stones a while ago, and Oliviette had held on to hers, expecting, you know, someday maybe Cori will like to communicate with her. And then when she did receive a call, it was your friend Caelum and not Cori. So you know, things. She was not exactly happy about that. She's in a little bit of a dour mood, but like she's here. She's looking. I mean, if you're planning on being here for a while, I can go find her. She's sort of just like meandering about, and then I can bring her back, and then we can all all team up. Yes, that one, please. Oh, it's been days.
Oh,
but so if you know of any place, if you are staying or that has rooms for our crew, it's not the whole crew. It is myself, Doc, and Oliviette.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we had to leave some people on the ship and the port just in case. Things went. Yes.
Sorry, I have one random question. Since you're a seafarer.
Sure.
You know of like the witch queen, the umbrella lady?
I know. Yes. What about her? You didn't do anything to like make her upset, did you?
So I was trying to. My god is Talos. The Tempest. And so I went to a shrine to pay homage to him. And turns out, I think it was to that other chick, she kind of like talked to me and told me that like traveling the waters and not paying was like a bad thing.
No, it's a super bad thing. You should like... Typically, like if you've sailed, like when you sailed with us, we always pay like before we go out, just as a general
She is nice.
Get
Well,
it,
I didn't
yeah.
know, so I told her I didn't know, and that didn't seem to be enough. So,
No,
but
she's
you know,
not caring on that
yeah.
one.
Nope. So, yeah, just I don't know if we're gonna go out anywhere, but if we do, I might have to stay back.
Or you could just pay.
Hey,
That's
yeah.
always an option. Like, she likes gold. Like, it's not like, unless you've done something really terrible, it's never a thing that's like, oh, you need to pay with your life. Like, if you just give her some money, then she's usually okay with it. We have, we acquired a cleric of hers for our ship. So typically she leaves us alone.
That's cool.
Like, Sigurd is a weird guy. Typically he likes drinking salt water. I think he's a little crazy, but he's an interesting character, but smooth sailing ever since. So
yeah, good.
Big thumbs up from that one.
Yeah, go on and get your friends Bartok, and we'll drink.
Bart, my name is Seaglass. You know
I know,
this.
sorry. You sound like someone I know.
He's just like, sort of like taking a little bit
It was
of
more
it.
like a Joshin thing.
Who is? My name
more
is
for
not
you,
Josh. I know. And Seaglass will then make his way away in an attempt to find Oliviette. So Caelum, you are wrapping up. I would say probably getting research with the Grand Archivist at this point. Gwen has a finger raised. Yes.
Sorry, I will warn the group that Oliviette is in town, so it's not like Cori just stumbles upon her somewhere. Just hey guys, just so you know, Seaglass, Oliviette, and Doc are in town. They're coming to the bar that I'm at, which is called.
The name seems to have fallen off as far as like a marquee, but the occupants of this bar have just been calling it Last One Standing.
Last One Standing, the only bar that made it. So
yeah, it's the only bar in town.
That's it.
Okay.
Copy that, Rubber Ducky. I am on my way to your location.
Rubber ducky? Why?
Over.
What's a rubber ducky?
Why rubber ducky, though? I'm curious, just out of character.
It's in the courtyard.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the four of you, or the three of you that are not at the Last One Standing, make your way to the only bar in town. In order of arrival, it would most likely be Arjhan, Cori, and then Caelum last.
Cori's gonna stop by Gideon, so she'll show up last.
Okay, cool. So with Gideon, with that in mind, do you have the key still? Or did you give that to Gwen? Because you guys left Gideon back at the Goliath camp, so it might be a little bit of a trip to go to that building.
We don't have Gideon, but we have Caelum's
We have
curious
silver door
condo.
handles as well.
Oh yeah, that's right. I wasn't gonna get it from Gideon. I was getting it from Ampleforth. Never mind. She's gonna be busy summoning Ampleforth for a little bit. She's picking up a package.
Okay. So, yeah, Caelum, you and Cori would probably arrive around the same time. So, Arjhan, it is you and Gwen at the Last One Standing. And then you see Blue-Skinned Tiefling with Ibex horns. You see Seaglass show up, and then you see Oliviette walk through. Her hair is a little bit longer now. She still has that kind of like crescent scar on her face. But she seems to be walking relatively well. She seems to be to have found her footing again with her prosthetic leg. And when she sees the two of you, she like makes a friendly gesture towards the two of you. And as she comes up, I think like she even like says like, "Oh, it's so good to see both of you."
Oliviette, it's been a while.
How you mean?
Well, I've been better. All things considered, I mean, I used to just sail around and do like trading and things. But now, it's not so bad. Although I did have to make like a 3-day walk here. It was not the best.
Sorry.
Do not worry about it. Caelum said that you all needed some help.
Yeah, you want one of these pastries that has tomato paste and cheese in it?
That sounds lovely. I think I would.
Mm-hmm. I'll hand over some.
They're made by the Grand Wizard Totino. All right. So yes, some pizza squares have been brought out for the crew. Where they found the ingredients? Well, when you're the last bar and all of the other restaurants have closed down, everyone just sort of brings what you can and you have fun with what you make. So yeah, as she is sitting there, Cori, eventually you and Caelum can make your way into the bar as well. And when you get to the bar's entrance, you see like Oliviette's back is to the door. And she is like, seems to be talking with Gwen and Arjhan, just sort of catching up as far as all things go. And yeah, I didn't know if one of you had started to say something. Sorry. Yes, Gwen.
Just come on over.
And Gwen, when you make the motion to join the group, Oliviette will turn, and then she will see the both of you standing there. And she, she doesn't move until the two of you are closer to the table. And when she stands up, Caelum, she will like reach out, like grab hold of your forearm and give you like a companion hug, as the two of you had sailed for a while together. Like it's one of those like, oh, good to see you. And then she like, you can see like the motion begins to do that with you as well, Cori, but then she sort of like falters and just it's good to see you as well, Coriander. There's room at the table. And she just sort of like sits down and just seems like she's trying not to be awkward, but the more you try not to be awkward, it just never works.
Like, I think that just out of habit, like Cori like opened an arm to like accept the hug and just like smoothly goes into like pushing her hair out of her face. She's got like a box on a strap over her shoulder. It's like one of those long type of boxes, about I want to say like 3 feet in length. It looks fairly nice. She just says, yes, thank you for coming all this way. I know it was arduous. And she'll take a empty seat.
From Oliviette and Cori's side, Caelum looks over to Gwen and Arjhan and lifts like the bottom of his mask so he can grimace at them.
Good to see you guys. I'm glad, yeah, you're busy out there. It's, you know, I feel like we haven't really hung out. Everyone sit!
I feel like everyone was like already sitting. But like Gwen just like was saying it more as like a general cover term, and like some people that aren't in your group hear the command in your voice and are just like, oh god, yeah, like.
Oh, you know what? Before we get into business, Gwen looks around. Is that bard still here?
Yeah, he seems to like be tuning up his lute, getting ready for another song.
Did he give me his name?
His name is William.
William. William!
He like raises his hand to wave at you.
Can you play that song that you played earlier? And she like points to Arjhan.
And then when you say that, he like he doesn't point with one finger, it's two. He's polite in his pointing.
Yeah.
Just like, and then points to just like them, like you guys.
Yeah.
And then he like gives a thumbs up. And then he stops tuning because he was already in tune for that song before. And if anything, has to like redo just a little bit. And then, the four of you hear this redux of the day that the dragon came. And Arjhan, your crossbow, like, it feels warm. It seems to like this.
Oh, that's new.
Asked.
Nice, right?
At the very least, it's not painting me being wailed on by all of you as I am possessed by a ghost. So that's good.
I mean, it happened, so.
It happened.
Oh.
Seaglass, Doc, how are you?
Doc, at this point is like, she says that she's fine. But she noticed that there were a bunch of med tents up on the hill, so she just wanted to like know where they were sleeping before she went back to go help.
Before Doc goes there, Caelum will give her a rundown of what's going on, just to, we're doing like standard triage, so,
She has no idea what that word means, but she's happy to learn. Because as you remember,
right.
Doc is not short for doctor. It is short for docile. She just happens.
For the ones leave the ones with the red tags for the professionals. Go for the ones with the green tags.
She says that I can understand, and like she's here for it. And it turns out that the city is pretty open with sleeping accommodations for people. No one is like charging rent for if you find a home that no one else has claimed yet. If you just want to sleep in there, no one's gonna bother you about it. So Seaglass is quite happy as they don't have to pay any money to sleep anywhere. But he's going to go and try and find a place to rest. But he knows where the med tents are, so he can at least fill Doc out as well. So the two of them leave, and it is now just Oliviette with your group at the table. And she says, so last time I came to this city, there was... as the song said, there was something floating above it, and then now there's like one small, I think it's the college that's up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did the song not explain enough?
Well, the song explains that the city came down, but knowing your group, it's more of a asking how.
Being of worms
Worms.
shot a laser at the moon.
I see.
Is that what that was? A laser? Is that what we're calling it?
Some beam of light.
Yeah.
I see.
We were hoping you'd have some input on that.
Well, input is Eilistraee is she is worried, to say the least. Sure, you all have noticed, but there's something that is out of color on the moon, to say the least. I don't know what will happen, but it has been getting bigger. And I was planning on communing with her later this evening.
Mind if I came and sat in with you then?
You are always more than welcome. And as she says this, she asks, or she's going to say, is there a place that is, I mean, I would say still open as far as like direct communication with the moon itself, but is there, do you know if there's any like holy places, any shrine or anything to her in this city?
Do we know of that?
Make a religion check.
Can I assist?
Oh, goodness. I don't have my ruler open.
Yeah.
Roll with advantage.
Yep, yep.
Advantage, you say?
Yes.
Well, how about a dirty 20?
Okay, a dirty 20. Cori, you know that there aren't very many shrines to Eilistraee in general, but you do know that there were still like smaller shrines to Saloon, that sort of thing, and typically for goddesses of night, for goddesses of the moon, as long as you have a shrine that is going toward that same general place, usually you're good on that one. And Caelum, you would also know that like you have set up, I feel like you would have set up like at least like a small makeshift shrine to Saloon as well, so you would at least be able to help direct her to that place.
Set up a small shrine not too far away from the college, if you don't mind going up a bit.
Heights never buzzed me. And with that, I feel like she would want to get on that. After like hearing you guys say like, oh yeah, like it was this whole thing. Do you tell her more about the Kyuss situation?
Not in the bar.
Fair enough. And then when she's going to go commune, Arjhan, what are you and Gwen going to do? Same with Cori, as Caelum had been really the only one to express that he was the one who wanted to go with.
I think Gwen is going to pull Cori aside at some point after they leave. Hey, Cori.
Yes.
Were you planning on having a conversation with Oliviette?
She's like looking over Gwen's shoulder and she nods. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and what are you gonna say?
I'm going to tell her everything.
Okay. And apologize for ghosting her?
I'm going to apologize for a lot of things, Gwen.
Alright, cool. I just wanted to make sure. I know last time we talked it was a little ambiguous as to whether you felt you should or not, so...
Oh, I definitely feel that I should.
Okay.
I think that our miscommunication there was whether or not I should pursue re-entering her life.
Yes? How are you feeling about that?
My feelings haven't changed, really.
And your feelings... This was a long time ago. What were your feelings again?
Sorry. Out of character laughter. Well, that it would probably be best for her to move on without me.
Right, okay. Yeah. Yeah, because you're going to go back to the Feywild and all that stuff.
For a lot of reasons.
Right. Cool. Okay, just checking in. You know, we haven't talked in a while, so...
No, of course.
Yeah.
I appreciate you keeping me accountable, Gwen.
Ah, yes, you're welcome. It's my job as the group leader.
Just kind of puts a hand on her shoulder. Did Caelum and Oliviette go off into the darkness?
Yeah, they were going to be heading out into the city.
Okay. Before they would have, split off from them, I think Cori would have touched Caelum's elbow and reminded him to practice in the light and beware the darkness.
Expressionless head nod.
All right, cool.
Okay. So yeah, Caelum, you and Oliviette go to this makeshift shrine that you have set up for Saloon, and Oliviette will use her commune ability to speak with Eilistraee, or at least ask her questions, either on your behalf or on her own. And she begins this ritual process, and the first thing that she asks is what is the red mark that we can see?
Before they set this up, Caelum is going to cast dancing lights and give them the form of humanoids that are just waltzing about to brighten up the area.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, so as Oliviette is asking, basically what is the red mark, she will relay that is the force of Kyuss, that they have made it to the surface of the moon. Eilistraee says that the area affected is large, but the Cathedral of Night remains unharmed. Oliviette then asks for how long, and the response that she gets is that Eilistraee fears that Kyuss will be coming towards the temple, or to the cathedral. There is a pause, and you see Oliviette gets a concerned look on her face, and she says, "The dancing goddess wants to speak with the four of you."
I can get a sending out.
Not is ascending. And she points upwards.
Oh. Immediately?
Not immediately. Well, sooner rather than later, I assume.
Alright, because I might have a thing that might help with the whole Kaya situation. At the very least.
Sure. Would you mind explaining?
Well, so if I could get, perhaps the Magi has a sampling, but if I can get a sample of the Kyuss worm, then I could probably alter either a magic circle or some form of hallow spell to try and keep Kyuss out of the Temple of Night.
And she says, that might be possible, but I don't know how much longer things are going to happen, honestly.
I wish
That was not there several days ago. And she points up.
All right. That sending's still going out, but it's to rally the party here.
She nods.
Cool. One moment. Eilistraee wishes to speak with us. Come to the shrine by the library. Bring your walking shoes.
Do you guys have other pairs of shoes?
I don't wear shoes.
There's an exchange occurring between Gwen and Arjhan, and I want to say that Cori's facing away from them, and she doubles over as though she's suddenly become sick, And then she just like leans back and puts a hand on her forehead and like starts laughing.
What? You okay?
It's just, it's a giant joke.
The shoes thing?
No, I have to talk to my ex today. Both of them. My ex-girlfriend and my ex-goddess. I have to laugh.
Yeah. Is she having a breakdown?
Coriander, Jonquil versus the world.
She just like turns around, kind of like leans into a wall as she composes herself, and she's like, "It's all right. I'll figure it out."
Just a camera pans back from Cori to Arjhan and Gwen and just concern.
We go.
Okay. Yeah, so you were all brought to this space. And Oliviette conveys the information that she showed to Caelum, being that the red mark that you all are able to see visibly from the surface of the plane on the moon itself is indeed the forces of Kyuss. Caelum had a plan about possibly getting samples of Kyuss to alter a magic circle or a hollow spell to see about preventing his access to the Cathedral of Night. This building, apparently, that exists on the moon up above. It seems like a wild time. You're not exactly sure what all is really entailed on that one. Cori has been there before and had already previously explained to you that there was indeed a building on the moon. Elves live up there. A giant naked dancing lady known as Eilistraee also lives up there. She is a elven deity. And then, as Caelum had already expressed, Oliviette reiterated that she wished to speak with the four of you.
On the moon? On the moon?
She nods. That is where she is, and she fears that if she were to make herself absent, things would not exactly go well.
How does one get to the moon?
There is a teleportation circle on my ship.
Right.
That is geared to go up there, so if you don't mind coming back to the Moonrunner, be able to go from there.
Should we get Doc and...
It's too late to head out for the evening. Myself, Doc, and Seaglass have already been walking throughout most of the day, so we'd have to leave first thing tomorrow. But unless you have a way of shortening the distance.
Yes, I do it all the time.
So that's cheating. Why didn't you just come get me as a Doc?
Because I can't teleport here.
Yes, but you've teleported to my ship before.
Yeah.
So then you teleport to your friends?
Well, that's the problem. He starts rambling about teaching Gideon.
She just, like, shakes her head and mutters wizards under her breath.
Listen, you heard me rant about belaying pins for, 3 hours? You can suffer this one a little bit.
And, Caelum, when you say this, Oliviette will lean towards you, Arjhan, and say that she I zoned out after the first 20 minutes, but he just seemed really enthusiastic about it, so I let him keep going.
I always find it nice to just be there and enjoy his enthusiasm.
Just smile and nod. But
Anyway, if we were to use a certain type of knot that was in that book that I had, it might secure it a little bit better. Sorry, I lost track of... Oof.
Look,
So
we head out. We can either get everyone together, go now, or wait until the morning.
We could wait until the morning. I'd like to update the Archmagus and Grand Archivist.
And we need to drink. Points to Oliviette.
She just sort of nods and just... I think that is in order. It's been a long journey coming here.
Are we good here then?
From this spot, I think so.
Cool. I'll grab the gang. Arjhan and I will grab the gang, and we'll
Yes.
meet you back at the. She starts like walking out backwards. We'll meet you at the bar.
When there's a ledge!
It's just like a little bit of a building, like it's like maybe 5 feet.
Gwen just stands. Oh no, you see her hands. I'm good. Good. Finger guns.
I'm gonna go update people. Dimension doors away.
God, I wish I could leave conversations that way most days.
Wouldn't that be great?
And standing alone in this, what was once lit with dancing lights, yet no more, is Oliviette and Cori. And she says, would you like to take a walk?
One moment, please. And she'll cast. What's her light
Friends!
spell? It's been a month. No, I'm not doing that. That'd be awful. Stop that. I think she's got daylight, right? She's got. Yes, she does. All right. She's going to cast daylight. And she says, "Actually, I'd like to stay here if you don't mind."
Okay, so you cast daylight. Oliviette has to put her hat back on. This is a little unorthodox.
My apologies.
Why? For all of... It doesn't matter. Before we even get into anything else, I want to say I am sorry. I am not used to being told no. Especially years of, well, being in my home as well as being captain of my own ship. It's very difficult for me to accept when I cannot do something. And I wanted to help you. I did. I realize now that my situation, and she like knocks on the side of her prosthetic leg, might not have been as helpful as I had imagined it being. And I was hurt that you and others told me that I couldn't do something. So I want to come out and say, first and foremost, I am sorry for telling you to go away. I would have liked to talk to you sooner.
Cori's just sort of fiddling with the strap of that case that she's been carrying over her shoulder. And, like, finally she just blurts out, "I was wrong."
No, in going to the Feywild, like, I most certainly would have died if that was the case.
I'm sorry. Thank you. I feel like that is... Thank you. But I there's a lot that I should have told you back then. And I thought that I couldn't, or that I shouldn't. And I was wrong about all of that. And I'm willing to tell you now if you're willing to hear it.
And Oliviette says, I am willing to listen on one condition. You do not blame yourself for me not going with you. If you're blaming yourself about some things that I don't know about, I don't know about it. I don't know the scenario around it. I can't tell you to not blame yourself for that one. Maybe it's like you were walking and you accidentally like nudged a cat with the side of your boot when you didn't realize it. That's something you should like blame on yourself. That cat clearly was like making loud meowing noises as you walked by. How dare you not notice them?
Oh no, poor Miete!
But if it's something that was unavoidable, do not blame yourself.
That's just the thing, is I think a lot of this could have been avoided. And she's going to start from the beginning, and basically tell the whole story about how she got wrapped up with Shar, the library, being tempted by Shar, being dropped by Eilistraee, all of the backstabbing and betrayals that she did surrounding her party. She's just going to tell her all of it.
When you say that Eilistraee dropped you, Oliviette will like put her hand up like as a pause. She says that she could not find you.
No, she stopped talking to me.
Cori, make an insight check.
This isn't against deception?
It is against deception.
Oh, fuck. Well, I got a 12.
Cori, who is the person who told you that Shar had dropped you?
You mean Eilistraee had dropped
Yeah,
her?
that Eilistraee had dropped you.
This displeases Frankie.
It displeases the Master of Shadows in my home. She just kind of closes her eyes and a long sigh escapes her. Queen of Deception indeed.
And Oliviette just has a frown on her face, but it is not a frown of disappointment. It is one where she is taking in a lot of information that is difficult to process. And she says, "Do you feel like you made the right choice?"
I don't know.
When we are in front of the dancing goddess, perhaps you can ask for forgiveness there. If you have any questions that you've wanted to ask to her, it would be a good time. Why did you feel like you had to keep it all secret? And why is it that you feel comfortable telling me now?
Well, afraid of what I would lose.
And she, like, when you say that, she, like, you see her, like, glance down at your arm and then back up at you.
I understand the irony in that. But there are some sacrifices that I'm willing to make and others that I'm very much not. And in choosing that path, I came very close to losing the things that I clung so desperately to.
She nods.
All of this being said, I have caused you a lot of pain. And for that, I'm sorry.
In your defense, I had a lot going on at the time. I think that even without the Shah-related thing going on, I don't know what would have happened.
I never felt that you were in the wrong.
It is because I am a noble captain. She sort of like tilts her hat a little bit. A captain is never wrong, especially to their crew. But a captain can be wrong to their friends.
Hurt, maybe. Confused, maybe. Deprived of information, very. She fiddles with the strap of her case again. She just finally like takes the strap off of her shoulder and kind of holds it out to her.
And I was gonna say Oliviette takes it and just, what is this?
It's a project I asked my father to start working on. It's been done for a long time now. I should have given it to you ages ago.
She'll look inside.
It's a prosthetic leg. It has the appearance of ceramic that's been painted with very thin black lines and swirling and filigree in a floral pattern. I asked him to make it specifically for dancing.
And she, mouth agape, when you say that you made it specifically for dancing, you hear her, it's like a lighthearted scoff. Like she's not scoffing at you, but it's just one of those like, and she will like look around and she sits down on a small cropping of rubble, and she begins the process of unfastening her prosthetic. And then once it's off, she says, "Would you help me?"
She hops to.
It's always easier with the second set of hands.
Oh, sorry, the mental image. Yeah, she hops to. It's a very practiced movement. She will like set the case aside and basically work as directed. And like when it comes time to put the prosthetic on, she explains how all the fastenings work and everything.
Yeah, and I feel like
show how it works on her own hand, and brag about her dad for a little bit.
And like as you're bragging about your dad, you see that Oliviette like kind of glazes over in the same way that most of your party does when Caelum starts ranting about small things that he has found on their journey. But then when she realizes the articulation that she is getting from this prosthetic, like it immediately snaps back and she's like, oh yes, no, your dad, very good inventor, positive. Like she's here for it. And I feel like as you finish getting the prosthetic set and are like standing looking at her, she will offer her hand to you for you to help pull her up.
Yep.
And as she's standing next to you, she will like, she does like some quick spins around you, like kind of pivoting off of the foot to feel that it is indeed good for dancing. And as she finishes these quick twirls, you see her go into a deep bow where she kind of like flourishes her captain's hat. And then she like arm extended out and then pops back up and like her eyes are squinting from the daylight spell. And then she puts the hat back on. And she says, "It feels good to stand beside you again."
Cori was just beaming at her. And then when she says that, Cori's face kind of falls. And she looks away.
And Cori, as you look away into the shadows outside of the daylight spell, you see a figure, a familiar looking one that just seems to smile at you. And then you see her figure just fade into the darkness. And as the familiar form of Shar fades, that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I would like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful excursion in the Four Keeps Origin Part 3. We're going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it's to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to indooradventure.redbubble.com, pick yourself up something nice, and we'll see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. See you soon. Where's it going? We're back. Hello.
Hey, Steven.
What?
It's been a month, so just like remind me.
Okay.
Where's Philip? Philip on the nuts.
God damn it! I walked right into this.
I mean, it was so good because I literally went like, oh shit, where is Philip?
I didn't expect it from Connor. I never would have expected it from Connor. But here we are.
Oh my god.
Nights in the courtyard about not expecting things from people.
Look, no one else comes up with a bit, so I had to look up the worst ones.
I'm so here for this. Oh my god.
I'm sorry, Rob.
We love you, Rob.
Today I love your laugh. We love you, Rob.
Bobbert.
I was gonna say I've called him Bobbert so much that calling him Rob is a little weird to me.
Bonus stage Bobbert. It's his full name. So, picking up from break, Oliviette has done a dance in front of you, Cori. Cori, while this seemed like a good thing at the time, in your despondence, you looked off where there are still shadow, even though you had made your sweet daylight pyramid. in order to prevent being seen, and it looks like somebody noticed you. A senpai that you did not want to notice you has therefore seen. She receded into the darkness, but it looks like Oliviette seems to be in good spirits that now that you have given her this new leggy that she seems to be doing well with, all things considered.
Good. I want to say that Cori tries not to bring the mood down. She wants to let Oliviette enjoy the moment, and she'll tell her about that later.
Okay, sounds good. What
But
better
like,
situation to
there's
be
definitely
in?
a different temperature in the room, as it were.
Gotcha. So at this point, unless there are any other conversations that you all would like to have with either each other or any of the NPCs that you have met, Caelum, you are letting the Archmage and the Grand Arbiter know that you are absconding.
I'm going to the moon.
The Grand Arbiter is like, of course you are, and just sort of brushes you off. But the Archmagi asks, take notes. I want to know about this. Like, she's on board.
Do you
for you
want
going
a
to the
moon rock?
Yes.
Okay.
Why? Yes. Bring several. Yes.
Should we take bets on if it's made of cheese or not?
She says, you take the first bite. We don't need to have bets.
Lick test it is. Okay, bye.
Okay. And then you're also able to grab Doc as well as Seaglass, get them rounded up, and you all meet at the last one standing. It seems like the William the Bard has left for the day, or the evening, as it were, and things are kind of dying down a little bit. But again, this being the only bar in town, it seems like it's still pretty full, regardless of the time of day. At this point, you are all able to reconvene, at least towards the bar. Gwen, you wanted to have drinks with Oliviette. Was this a truthism, or were you just trying to? Okay.
Yes. I don't know what state she's going to be in when she comes back, but I am pre-gaming.
Okay, so Gwen, you are pre-gaming, and then you see Oliviette and Cori walk through the door. Make an insight check.
Gosh, you're getting all my good ones today, aren't you?
Yay. It's been a month.
2.
2?
2.
All right, Oliviette has a new leggy. That's, not really sure what that's about.
Yeah.
You can't really, you're looking at Cori, trying to tell what the situation is. Like, what it has a good thing happened or a bad thing. Oliviette is walking forward, and Cori has a more dour, concerned look on her face.
She's gonna lean over to the bartender. I'm gonna need a whole fucking bottle of whatever strongest liquor you got, okay?
Yeah, and the bartender says 5 silver.
Puts down a gold. Keep the tab open.
He nods and gives us a solitary you got it, buddy. And then
Grab three glasses.
Yep. So yeah, Oliviette and Cori, you two are able to make it to this table, sit down. They're sitting, Gwen, they are sitting next to each other. They don't seem to have any animosity, but again, you're not sure about this whole mess.
Guys, look at, here. And she kind of does a 2-finger on each of them and then shoves them over. Yeah, it's, to the moon.
To the moon. And Oliviette raises her glass as well, and then takes a sippy. She doesn't seem she doesn't seem hesitant in imbibing at this point.
Solid. Gwen tries to do this thing that I like to do with my friends, where you make eye contact with your girlfriend and you go, you use your face to manipulate it. I know this is podcast stuff too, so I'm trying. You use your face and manipulate it in a way that says, "You good?"
This is the premium content that you get for the VODs, obviously.
Yeah.
Cori manipulates her face in the way that says, "Yeah, I'm good," but like it's hesitant enough to show that she's like, sure, she's good, but she's not that good.
Right. Gwen is going to like look at Oliviette, look at Cori, and do like a little head nod with a question mark.
How stealthy are you being about this whole matter? Because you're at a small table and there's 4 of you there currently.
Yeah.
She's been
Oh, the other
pre-gaming
members
too,
aren't there?
so...
Or, yeah, I guess you and Arjhan went to find them, so, like, there are, like, the other members are there. But again, subtlety.
How is it that none of us can speak telepathically? Like,
Right.
how did we get this far without having that ability?
Sending doesn't count.
No.
All right. But yeah, how subtle are you being about all this?
Trying to do it when Oliviette is not looking.
All right. You can either roll stealth or sleight of hand on this one.
Oh boy, you know what? They're both shit. So let's go. Sleight of hand. 5. Why am I doing all my bad rolls today? Can I intimidate this? No.
Making intimidating faces at Cori. That read, you good? But it's one of those like, you better be good, I swear to God. Okay. If Oliviette takes note of this, she does not mention it. At that point, Caelum, you reconvene with the party as well, and this group of 7 is here. Seems like there is a sense of impending urgency, in that you all know that a lot of you know that there is a situation that is about to unfold. However, it seems like Seaglass and Doc have not been filled in on the we have to go to the moon scenario, or we will be sending people to the moon scenario. They're just like, oh yeah, like if you tell them, okay, we're going to be going back to the ship soon, Seaglass is like kind of like rolls their eyes a little bit and just like, but we just got here. And he doesn't really he just wants to take a little bit of a rest, but Oliviette assures him that no, Caelum has said that he has methods of transporting everyone, so we should be fine.
Let me just reread that real quick. There might be a limit. Seaglass, are you okay with staying behind?
And Seaglass just sort of like...
There's a small lift of the mask and a smirk. I'm being a jerk. I'm not leaving you behind.
Big sigh of relief from Seaglass. All right, so what is the plan? Are we waiting until tomorrow morning and then going out, or are we going out now? Then we can stay at my ship. I don't know if I have enough room for everyone, but...
I just bought a whole bottle of alcohol.
Yeah, take it to go.
I don't really sleep, so you can give my bunk to whoever.
We don't have to leave. We can just stay here.
Let's just stay the night.
Okay.
I'd feel safer traveling in daylight.
Yeah.
And she would have explained to Oliviette the whole, like, there's a reason why I cast daylight here.
Yeah, no, obviously you didn't explain the daylight at all, and you were just doing it to be cruel. No.
No.
Yeah, none. Yeah, she seems to understand that pretty well. So, yeah, plans are made for the following morning to head out. So, yeah, you're all able to at least like say your goodbyes, or like wave farewell to the people of Vaskor here, should you so choose. Arjhan, Bridget had finished the repairs, and she was working on and she was finishing up the upgrade that you had specified for as well. What was your plan for her once this is done? Did you want her to stay behind and then continue working on any of the other mechanical things that they ended up finding, or was she to go back to work on the other project?
If she wanted to, she could work on whatever. I didn't have a plan.
Okay. Yeah, she is then going to go back to the Hells to work on the Mechanical Tyrant, as that is her main passion project, as well as sort of what, she's been contracted for primarily. And she feels like Ozzy has a good foothold on the Warforged situation, on the Silver Legion. So she, with a like puff with smell of sulfur, and this sort of like hellish gate opens, she dismisses herself and returns back to the Hells. The following morning, unless there was anything that anyone wanted to get into later in the evening. Yep.
I mean, I just needed to pray to Tiamat for safe passage to the fucking moon.
Yeah.
So
that seems like a good thing to ask for safe passage to.
One, make sure that when we get on the ship, like she wants to them this is when she's like very drunk. She wants them to run through like the steps in which she needs to give money to this god that has threatened her life.
Yeah, and when you bring up like, oh yeah, Umberly threatened me directly, like the seafarers that have not heard this story yet are just like, they all are like, that's not good.
Wait, are we on the ship already?
Not yet.
Like, don't let her on the boat.
So, yeah, they say that Sigurd can give you a rundown on that one, as how best to show, how best to pay the tithe, necessarily on how to get out to sea. So, Arjhan, you are praying for safe passage to the fucking moon.
yeah, and just not like actively checking in because of the warm crossbow feelings, but just he is checking in after that.
Yeah. So yeah, when you check in, the response that you get is like a sense of being pleased about something. When you had initially gotten into your connection with Tiamat, one of the things that you had promised was that there were to be more songs about her. And though you asked for help and she lent it to you, you provided her with the payment that she sought, which was a song. Now the song is being sung by more people that is, as she feels, a step in the right direction. Towards making things better. Not necessarily great by any means, but like it's good PR. Like if you got a catchy song that paints you in a good light, people may look the other way when, you know, somebody starts building a small shrine to Tiamat here and there throughout the city. So she's pleased. It was a affirmative, like, good job. You have done the thing that you said that you would. She is feeling a strong return on investment is the right way to put that one.
See, Mom, I did something good. I need to go to the moon now.
And bringing up that you need to go to the moon, she establishes that wherever her herald goes will effectively count as her domain. So do not worry about if her powers will reach you there.
Sweet.
She is with you always, but like in a friend kind of way. So that was Arjhan's, and then Gwen, you were asking about asking the other seafarers about how to pay this tithe. Oh, lady. And then so moving on to the next day, y'all get your 8 in, or your 4, depending on if you're an elf or not. And you are able to get all of your things together and get ready to depart. At this point, Caelum, you are going to be using a teleportation spell for this.
He's going to use teleportation circle because he copied down Oliviette's circle on her ship. Before they do that, out of habit, Caelum sends a sending to Oliviette and says incoming.
And she just like turns to look at you like she's right there. Sorry. She just sort of like shrugs and say, I did tell you to let me know whenever you were going to be on my ship. She sort of like shrugs to herself. And with a flash, you are all transported onto Oliviette's ship. At this point, on the deck, again, as happens every time you bamf onto the ship, the crew is very jarred, seeing people just arrive out of nowhere, but then seeing who all is there, they seem very calmed by it. At this point, though, Seaglass like puts a hand on the on your back, Gwen, and just begins like pushing you off like towards the dock.
Shit, sorry. Just should like will jog.
Yeah. Just we should probably get this taken care of at some other point. So here, just if you can just sit right here for a little bit.
Here, on this box.
Just right. Okay. If you can go just up to where, if you're standing on dirt, that is going to be the best place for you.
Yeah, I'll be in the grass over here.
Thumbs up. I'll get Sigurd.
Cool. Gwen shuffles off.
Okay. And then coming back on, and then Gwen, you are here for maybe like 5 minutes or so. And you see a very weathered looking individual that has like parched lips approaching you. And they just say, are you the one that they call Gwen? I think is your name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't have any money for you. I'm sorry. If you're on hard times or...
Oh, it's not me that you need to have the money for. It's her. And he makes a like thumbs back towards the sea. Seaglass told me that you were having difficulties communicating with my goddess.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't, I know you. I'm Gwen. Sorry.
He like reaches down, grabs a hold of your hand, and he just like he feels damp
Gross.
Like, he kind of, like, smells a little mildewy.
Uh-huh. I'm so sorry. Yeah, yes. I don't know if they told you. I accidentally, I gave money to her thing, her shrine. I thought it was for Talos, and she told me that I hadn't paid in a while. So,
You.
she tried to kill me. It was great. No, I have not. I didn't know that was a thing.
No, she tried to drown you. You are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You are blessed. Did you let it happen?
No. No.
Why?
Because I like life.
No, you don't understand. When you get drowned, it's a matter of survival. If you drown successfully, then sometimes you wind up on the beach. That's happened to me. That's how I became one of her chosen.
Right. So, I will
She was
remember
trying
that
to, like,
for...
reach out.
Right. I do have a god though, so I don't like to double up. Unfortunately, Talos, storm god.
I understand.
The Tempest.
She can be possessive in a
Right.
good way, I guess.
Right. So, how much do I need to give her?
Roughly how many times have you sailed that you have not paid that you can remember?
Less than 10?
We just assume 10.
Sure.
Okay. Do you have I would probably say and he kind of like takes stock of you a little bit. 1,000 gold would probably do it.
Oh, I don't have that much on me. My companions might.
You should ask them.
You sure it's that much? That seems like a steep...
Do you want to drown? You said no.
No, you're right, I don't.
The
So,
easiest way is to just...
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you overpay.
Right, I guess that's true. All right, can you, because, don't want to get back on the ship, can you go ask... Oh, you know what? Hold on. Just 1 second. Hey, Arjhan, I need to pay the goddess of the sea...
Umberly.
Umberly. I need to pay her 1,000 gold. Can I have that, please?
Wait right there.
He'll be right out.
Okay.
So, Umberly.
She's great.
Is she?
Yes. And he looks at you with a very intense stare, just do not speak
Tell me
ill
about how great she is.
right now. And he says, well, it's quite simple, really. She's a very active god.
Oh.
Yes, a lot of people always complain, oh my god, I pray to them and then nothing happens. Well, imagine if you had the god that was if you didn't pray to them, then they made it so that way you knew.
Yeah.
That's why our clerical order is so good at what we do. Right. We help ships get from point A to point B, sometimes point C. I don't judge. The point is, if you do not pay her, she will know. She wants you to pay her. She likes gold. She likes gems, items, living things. She also takes.
Oh.
It's one of the walk the plank scenarios.
Right.
Imagine that, but you just have a prisoner from another ship. Say you commandeer a pirate ship, and it's oh well, we don't have enough food to feed everybody on the ship. I will just push this guy out, and then he possibly either if Umberly likes him, she drowns him. If Umberly does not like him, she drowns him. But like if she likes you, drowns you, then you come back up later. That's what happened to me. I drowned.
Yeah.
And then I got to come back.
Yeah. I've been around a lot of really active gods, and it's been she kind of like pauses, like she's not quite sure if she should talk shit, but then she's like, it's been a time. I mean, I personally I like Talos. He's cool. He kicked me in the chest once. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, but that's about it.
Sometimes it's better that way.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what the hell's going on here?
Oh, hey.
Your friend has never once paid when going across the sea. Umberly has taken notice of this and is asking for payment. She does not know how many times she has crossed the sea, so we sort of have to ballpark it, shooting a little higher, hopefully. So we need 1,000 gold.
Yeah.
Insight check.
Yeah.
I feel like this is a scam.
Make an insight check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Woo!
He is being dead serious.
Well, I don't like that. 1,000 gold for fucking... I worship the goddess of greed, and she never did that shit to me.
Yes, but underneath Umberly is also petty.
I get out a gold
is
bar.
that- Oh, shit. Is this enough?
He looks it over. How much is the gold bar worth?
No, 1,000 gold.
Yeah, he kind of like weighs it. This should do. All right. So Tiny One, come with me.
Yeah, okay, cool.
And he walks onto the Moonrunner.
Mhm.
You have to do it on the ship that you are looking for safe passage on.
Right, okay.
Okay, so come to the side of the ship.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so take this gold bar.
Uh-huh.
Now I want you to say, and he pulls out some coinage as well. Oh, great goddess of the deep.
Oh, great goddess of the deep.
May this payment ensure safe passage.
May this This isn't gonna piss off my god, right?
No, it's
Okay, cool.
fine.
May this payment ensure safe passage.
And with that, Sigurd tosses his coins into the water. Says, now you.
Can I huck it?
This just needs to go in.
Sweet. She like footballs it as far as she can into the water.
Okay. And Arjhan, you watch this 1,000 gold piece ingot just sail through the air and then boosh.
Breaching dolphin.
Fucking take out a
Just
seagull.
pegs it.
I will not go and reclaim that. I will not go and reclaim that.
That's a bad idea, I feel like. Sorry, Umberly. I
And
hope this...
Sigurd just like,
Oh, no.
do not apologize.
Okay.
She does not like
Just-
placating.
Right, okay, so that's it.
Just, you're done. It's
Alright,
simple,
cool.
really.
It's super simple.
And then you see him he like takes a drink out of a water skin, and when he does, it smells briny. Like this dude is just straight up drinking salt water.
That doesn't give you like the runs.
And he looks at you with the most serious expression, and he just says, one does not simply leave the clerical order. And then he like wipes off the briny water from his mouth and just turns.
Once he walks away, she looks at Arjhan. She's like, that did not answer my question. I have so many more now.
Okay. So yeah, you are all
Should begin.
in the middle of the day. aboard the Moonrunner, and Oliviette calls for her crew to set sail. You guys are going to be going out into the open water, so that way you're not doing all of this shenanery inside of town directly. Yes, Caelum.
Caelum keeps an eye out for Tifa.
Okay. Yeah, it seems Tifa is not here. Taking stock of Oliviette's crew. Let me see. So Oliviette is there. Sigurd is the quartermaster. Seaglass is the rigger. There is a goblin bosun named Scrimshaw, who really just loves like working on the ship. He's always trying to find like little things that he can do to help repair it. And as a result, there is like a lot of like haphazard panels that are sort of like placed around below the deck, but like you feel like they're useful for something. You just can't place what. And then there's the surgeon. Gurn, the kobold, is still here. He seems like he's still one of the old crew members. Yeah, he gives you a high five. And then Sailor, the furbolg, is still doing his best here to help make sure everything's in ship shape.
Caelum visibly relaxes.
Aww.
Yeah, no, it seems like the Moonrunner has a solid crew at this point.
Cori alternates spending time with Oliviette, and occasionally wandering off to pontificate to herself. To anyone observing, it's pretty clear that she's got something on her mind.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Should we draw straws?
No.
I'll go.
All right, A. Pretend you're still alive. Harness those feelings. Empathy.
Pulls up mask. Gwen, that's fucked up.
What?
I feel things, okay?
Yeah. I'm just saying. You've been different.
Just because I died doesn't mean I'm emotionally stunted. That was the abuse. Mask down.
Crosses her arms.
God, I've missed this game.
Oh my god. What's the name of that, like, I don't know, it's like a porch that's like on the back of the boat.
The aft castle?
How do you get to that?
A set of stairs.
Okay.
That's also where the navigation wheel is usually located.
Oh, no, I mean, like, even further back and kind of down.
Like through the captain's quarters?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually
like,
through the captain's quarters. That's like the captain's porch area. It's not...
That's the place that, fucking Captain, oh, his name starts with an N. In, Pirates of the Caribbean, he fucking dies there. When,
wow.
like, David Jones comes down, he's all like, "Do you fear death?" And he just fucking stabs him. And he dies.
We'll have a
remember
Pirates
this?
watch party
Did I
later.
watch too much Pirates of the Caribbean? Never mind. Anyway, I want to say that Cori's there.
Okay. So yeah, Cori is on the captain's porch.
Just looking down at the water, the wake that the boat is leaving.
So for funsies, I wanted to appear like a ghost out of the shadows. I rolled 2 nat 20s for a stealth check because I do it at
Yeah.
disadvantage.
Sure.
You're coming at Cori out of the shadows.
Yeah, so Cori, you are you're minding your own business. You're kind of zoning out, looking at the sea, thinking about the situation that is at hand. You can hear the sound of industry off in the distance as you leave Andapur, as your ship, as the Moonrunner is sailing out. You can also hear like the crew running around, and you just sort of have that like self disassociation where like you are no longer your own person. You are just sort of like a set of eyes looking at the water as like the rushing or the crashing of the waves is almost mesmerizing. You do not hear Caelum approach you at all. He seems to just appear from nowhere and nothing. He was either always there or like the space beside you has torn open to reveal this form.
Great. Does Caelum make himself known?
It's me, Coriander, the ghost of Candle Nights Past.
She looks at him and like there's like this look of utter disgust for just a brief moment, and then she like looks again and like startles as she's like clearly this was not who she was expecting.
Eat
Caelum.
something bad?
No, I've just been jumping at shadows lately.
Ah. Well, that's gonna be rough considering everything casts a shadow.
Tell me about it.
Well, you see, when light actually hits something that is opaque, there leaves behind a... Sorry, I'm trying to bring a bit of brevity to the situation.
She looks back down at the water and is quiet for a bit.
The others and I noted that you were brooding. That's never a good sign.
She wasn't supposed to forgive me.
You're gonna have to be a little specific here.
I was prepared for anger. I was prepared to say my piece and walk out of her life forever. And Oliviette forgave me. And I don't know what to do with myself. She says that Eilistraee lost track of me, that she didn't freeze me out. She thinks that I should apologize to her.
And what do you feel like?
I feel like I don't deserve forgiveness. I'm not even sure if I want it. If she lost me, why didn't she look for me?
Possibly because you were obscured in shadow.
She looks back down at the water and is quiet for a bit.
I'm not surprised that Oliviette forgave you. When someone cares, truly cares, they will try and make it work with you.
I just don't know if there's going back for me, Caelum. I want to. But I don't know if I can.
What do you mean by go back?
She has my name.
Yeah, that's important. We should probably put that on the docket list for getting stuff back. You are traveling down a very strange road. For one, you have the mantle of a deity that is supposedly here to kindle light. You deal with a dark goddess, and you are... Oh, we're going to the moon, Cori. That's weird enough as it is.
That's how it all started.
You're not doing it alone. We're here to help you. Oliviette's here to help you.
It's something that I'm grateful for. I just don't want to hurt her anymore.
Explain to her the risks. If she still wants to go with you, that's her prerogative. It's hard to change hearts and minds when you're dead set on, well, a goal. I'm kind of proof of that.
All right. If nothing else, I can be honest with her. She, like, turns around, like, leans back a little bit on the rail, and it's, like, clear she's, like, steeling herself to get ready to go and, like, have a difficult conversation. And then she just looks at Caelum and she says, "Thank you."
Oh, don't thank me just yet. You still have to talk to her.
And that will be the hot part.
According to Gwen, we've killed gods. This is, just another trial to overcome.
If only we could do that again.
Let's not. I lost a leg. And, like, part of my back.
You know, we've lost a lot of things, Caelum.
Don't remind me.
She just kind of, like, taps him on the shoulder, like, with her fist. And she'll step back into the captain's quarters. She'll have an off-screen conversation with Oliviette, explaining... Yes?
Before that happens, Caelum pushes past Cori so he's not trapped on the goddamn ass.
You can teleport. It's fine. It's fine. Okay.
Sorry, wrong way. Hold on.
She's gonna have an off-screen conversation with Oliviette, basically explaining all of the risks that she feels there are involved with continuing to be near her.
Okay. For our listeners, general outline.
Like, just kind of reiterate, like, all of the bullshit that, like, has been happening with Shar. She will say that, like, there is not a moment where she doesn't feel like Shar is watching her. She will be vague about what she saw in the Feywild, but, like, she has a terrible feeling of dread about, like, what could possibly happen to Oliviette in the future because of her.
Okay.
And she has a feeling that has something to do with, I don't know, she's getting paranoid about Shar. Like, she feels like Shar wants this.
Okay. Fair enough. So, you have this off-screen conversation with Oliviette, and Oliviette also will let you all know that previously when they had been transported to the lunar place, to the Cathedral of Night, that it had been nighttime previously. So she is waiting for the moon to be in full focus above the ship once again in order to activate the sigils there. So day goes by otherwise uneventfully, unless there's anything that y'all wanted to do on the ship. After Caelum and Cori come back out, as Cori goes to find Oliviette, I feel like Caelum gives the, like, we should be good now. At least, like, signs to your friends that, like, we talked. It was relatively fine. And night falls. And Oliviette communes with Eilistraee in order to figure out how to recreate the ritual that y'all had done that the process, at least, that had happened previously. There was no previous ritual, or really it was rather unceremonious the last time that y'all got ported. So after that, Oliviette actually just says, enters into the circle and says, everyone that's coming with to stand in the circle as well.
I move.
Yeah,
into
we
the
do.
circle.
Okay. So
Gwen kind of hold Arjhan. She holds his tail a little bit
Okay.
for comfort.
like just like the little like hand on it, the big hold, or like just like grab onto it. And I imagine it's almost like a cat where like it just like now needs to switch even more.
Yeah. No, I think it's like she doesn't want to like reach up and hold his hand because like that would be too obvious. So she just like feels his tail next to her and like holds it so that it's not very obvious. But
Okay.
probably like near the end of it.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's obvious to Arjhan because now somebody is grabbing a hold of him's tail. But that is neither here nor there. So as the lot of you are within this circle, Oliviette closes her eyes. She pulls out her silvered rapier that she has, and holding it close to her, she begins to pray in a elven dialect. Caelum and Cori, both of you would be able to understand what she is saying, but it's like the words are interwoven with magic itself, but almost like a celestial kind of magic. This is not necessarily like an arcane mixture necessarily, but as she does, you watch as these glyphs begin to glow with their silvered light, the ones that have been embedded onto the ship itself. And in a beam of roaring white, the four of you and Oliviette disappear. And you feel yourselves being transported. And immediately you find your footing again. And when you open your eyes, after coming out of this blinding light, it is desolate black above you with an infinite field of stars as far as the eye can see in every direction. And there is just rocky outcropping ahead. It is this grayish rock. And Gwen, Arjhan, and Caelum, the thing that the three of you notice the most is that in the sky above you, where you feel like the moon should be, is this sphere that, Caelum, you have like partially seen before in visions. That's your planet. That's where you're from. And it looks maybe like a small plate.
It's
Panic,
round.
don't panic, don't panic.
It's round.
I don't know. She said it, but I feel like I didn't believe. Are you sure we're not just seeing it head on?
Got a little bit of it.
Yeah, enough.
In the vacuum of space, no one can hear you scream about how round it is.
We can breathe, right?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
Don't need to. What?
That's good for you.
Yeah, fucking great, Caelum.
Hey, there's no
Glad that
swearing
you-
in space. How dare you?
Fuck!
And
I'm sorry.
Gwen, when you yell fuck, you expect there to be an echo. There really isn't one.
Is anyone else perturbed by how fucking quiet it is?
Absolutely. Let's go to where it's not quiet.
Yes, please.
Where is this cathedral?
Yeah. So Oliviette levels up her rapier, says a quick prayer, and then like points it forward and just sort of like levels it from right to left, and then you see that it stops at one point, and the long blade of the rapier begins to glow with a faint light. And then she says to follow that direction. And you travel
We go that way.
Yep, and you travel for maybe about 10, 15 minutes or so, just traveling over these rocky outcroppings until before you see, Cori, a sight that you yourself have not seen in what feels like an age. Having spent time in the Feywild, it's been probably like 7 years since you were here, but in a way it feels like yesterday. This large pearlescent building that just seems to stand alone on the surface of this rocky knollscape. And as you get closer, you can see that there are people moving about, which is, again, one of the strangest sights that you think that you will have seen this day. And as you get closer, in Elvish, you begin to hear individuals saying something very similar to "the maidens have returned." But for those of you who don't speak Elvish, they are just doing that thing that they always do whenever you go to an Elvish civilization of not translating to common. Bunch of jerks. But as you continue into this building, it is pristine. There does not seem to be any dust here. But there also doesn't seem to be any like wildlife or plant life. It is very Spartan in its overall design, or at least its layout, in that it doesn't have like gardens and other fun things like that. There are walkways. There are rock gardens. There are like sand pits where people are making patterns, that sort of thing. But all things considered, it does not look like there is growth here. And Oliviette seems to be confidently walking. And when you, like, she's leading the group, and when, if you get close to her, you can see that her eyes have like this silvered shimmer over them. She does not seem to be, like, she seems to be walking with a purpose, but possibly isn't the one leading herself. And eventually she leads you into this fantastically sized room. And as you are getting near it, you hear the sound of, it sounds like somebody working an anvil, but it is far more rhythmic than you could have ever possibly imagined. And when you enter into this room, you all see a beautiful drow woman, long flowing white hair that seems to be as illustrious and silver as moonlight itself, that seems to be dancing atop of a forge. And with each step that is placed onto a leveled set, where you assume something is being crafted, you can hear that sound of the anvil being made until eventually at the end of this dance, she reaches down and grabs what she has been dancing upon and holds it up, and you see that it is a sword. And as she looks at it, she seems to set it down onto... It's more like a small shelf. Or I guess it would be closer to a weapon rack, where you can see other weapons that have been made, other pieces of armor that Eilistraee has made through this dance. And as the four of you approach, she looks over and in common says to the lot of you, "Thank you all for coming. To several of you, this is not the first time that you have experienced my cathedral, but for those of you who are new, welcome."
Caelum puts a hand on his chest and bows.
Gwen is just slack-jawed. Like, just, like, blatantly just, like, not, like, staring in lust at this person.
Yeah.
This god. Just, like, this is the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life, and she has no thoughts.
Arjhan.
Her mouth is slightly agape.
Arjhan sort of, like, not fully commits to, like, a bow. But it's... Please tell us why you've brought us here.
Because I'm going to need your help. First and foremost, in less than 24 hours, Kyuss will make his way here to the cathedral. When he does, I fear that we will not have the forces necessary to defend ourselves. I may be powerful, but he possesses a unique strength, one that I am not sure I would be able to defend against. Looking down at Coruscant, I have seen your group fend off his forces twice now, and I would ask that you do it a third time. When your companions, Oliviette and she goes to say Cori when she looks at you, and she sort of tilts her head and has like a kind of like curious expression. It says,
Cori's been standing in the back of the group, kind of keeping her eyes down.
when you and the mantle bearer had come here previously, I had expressed to the two of them that this place was the last line of defense against Kyuss. That if anything were to get past here, it would be the end for us all.
I'm sorry, Mantle Bear.
And she motions towards Coriander.
Have we discussed this?
I think Cori looks a little confused. My name has changed.
And Eilistraee shakes her head. And she says, that would be one way of putting it, yes. During your adventure, in an attempt to stop the never-ending winter of the Feywild, one of you heard a particular voice and responded with affirmation about taking up a mantle, that of being Lorathian. As some of you may call it, I believe I've heard it described as the elfiest elf to ever elf. And she, like, makes big air quotes with that.
Oh, we're mentioning gods now. Oh, fuck, of course we are. And then Arjhan just, like, goes back to, like, all the times that Cori has, like, tried to talk about it, but never actually said the word mantle. And so it went directly over Arjhan's head.
I don't think Cori knows what a mantle is.
Ape.
Well, I mean, yeah.
The being known as Corellon Lorathian is not a set being, such as myself, Saloon, Mistra, Tiamat, even other deities you might be familiar with. Corellon Lorathian is a concept, something that is passed down through generation to generation. And your friend agreed to wear that mantle, to take on this name. Is this new? And, like, Eilistraee, like, looks at your party like, did you not tell them?
Like, Cori's just kind of, like, staring at the ground. She, like, glances up at her a little bit. She's like, I'm sorry, you're making it sound like this is... I walk in the path of Corellon.
And she says, that path is yours to take.
I'm sorry, I don't think I know exactly what a mantle is.
And Eilistraee says, we will discuss more of this at a later time. I can fill you in on what you have agreed to. Should the chance arise. But for now, we must focus on defense. And Cori, as you're like, I don't know what a mantle is, like, Oliviette is just looking at you just like, bagaw? Like, what?
It's suddenly becoming very clear how she finds herself in these situations.
And Eilistraee says, what I'm going to share with you all is something that I trust the four of you will be able to accomplish. When Oliviette and Lorathian first appeared here, I was unsure as to whether or not you would be able to weather the storm, so to speak. Now I am positive. The four of you will be the ones who are able to put Kyuss away, to end them once and for all, in the form that we know them as now.
Do you have a plan for that?
I do. And that is the secret that has been guarded by this cathedral for several ages.
My lady, when you say end his current form, you make it sound like he can come back.
Kyuss seeks to attack this place, not only to dethrone me, but because he believes that we are hiding something here. A weapon, an item, something that can be used to ultimately defeat him. And in a sense, he is correct. But in a way, he is also wrong. Arjhan, as you put it, what we have here is a plan. A plan that I hope, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that all of you will be able to perform and complete to the fullest of your abilities. But it will not be easy. I am going to ask you, now and after, if this is something that you feel up to in terms of task. Knowing what this plan is, I cannot express before we fend off Kyuss, for if any of you fall to his worms while you are defending this place, then he would gain that information. Will you help me?
I've already promised to do so, so my aid is yours.
I'll do all I can.
I should really know better than to agree to something that I don't know what I'm agreeing to, but I understand. We're here. We have to do it.
I'm Gwen.
God, I miss this game.
And I think that is the perfect spot to end tonight's session. So with that, I'd like to say thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful game of Dungeons and Dragons. Holy shit, god damn it, thank you all so much for joining. I have a blast whenever I can have these four on the channel. I missed playing this month. Y'all put me in a better mood. RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, my name is RJ. You can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about the nerdy things in my life and sometimes play video games with my friends. Hey, did you know, in August, we're doing a charity thing over at the Hype Goblins channel. We're playing a... oh boy, this is a mouthful. A Pokemon Emerald randomizer Nuzlocke, where at certain intervals where we hit stretch goals, we will delete one Pokemon.
Sir?
It's also a race between 4 people. So it's going to be great. You can catch me here, of course, as Caelum, the Shatterkai Wizard. Over on Thursdays, every week is Elegant Magic's week, where I played Jarvis Hawk. We just had the Bathhouse episode, where the springs compel you to tell the truth. And some things were told, like how my character first murdered someone at 17. Whoops! After that, you can catch me on Saturday over at GGK for Star Power. I play a fighty boy named Fang, and it's going to be a blast. It's the Fate system. So, yeah. Sunday mornings over at the Hype Goblins channel, I play Roland Grandbrook, an Azamar Bard sorcerer who is there to support his friends. DanaeKeener.com.
Hello, everybody. I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on the Twitters and the Twitches, where I'll be live tomorrow at 3 o'clock p.m. EST playing some Dead by Daylight. After that, I'll be on GGK with one of the lovely people on this stream tonight. We're playing our Masks game. After that, you can find me on Friday back on my channel playing Friday Night Frights. And then Sunday, we're playing Vaesen over on GGK in the afternoon. And in the evening, we'll be going back to Playthings of the Gods, where we'll be down a Sarah, but boy, we're going to go to the circus and it's going to be a time. That's me. I'll see you next time. JanaeKeener.com.
Hoi! I'm Cyber. You can find me at Cyber1201 on Twitter and Twitch. I play video games real badly and talk about lore. We just finished Metroid Fusion, and we didn't die too much, so that's cool. I had to figure out what I'm streaming next. But yeah, go check that out. Shit. YouTube, that exists. Yeah. Also check out the Patreon, patreon.com/cyber1201. Not to subscribe or anything, because I don't do recurring monthly charges, but go check it out because a whole bunch of free shit is up there. Like some like, hey, do you want to try out that new Avatar role-playing game? It sure would help to have some form-fillable PDFs for that, wouldn't it? I made some, so you can go check them out and use them and prep games faster. Whole bunch of free shit like that. You can find me here on Mondays where I play Arjhan, but you already knew that. But hey, you can also find me on Thursdays, not this Thursday, but every other Thursday over on High Shelf Gaming. That's twitch.tv/High Shelf Gaming, where I am emceeing a game of Urban Shadows set in a non-existent city in South Louisiana. So you got a whole bunch of spooky shit going on there. You want interview with the vampires? We got some. You want some loup-garou? We got some loup-garou. It's just a good time. Go check that out. Yeah, on Thursdays, but every other week on High Shelf Gaming. Yeah, that's me. JanaeKeener.com.
And speaking of DanaeKeener.com, hi everybody, I'm Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings mostly related to D&D, a lot of things on this channel. Oh shoot, you can also find me at Danae Keener on Twitter. I've got a pinned tweet there with my schedule. You can see all the things that I'm up to. So go and check that out, DanaeKeener.com.
And if you've made it this far, you probably already know who I am. But if you don't, hey Acorns, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do shows like this on Monday and Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, as well as on Sundays at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is your first time joining us, so you can go to youtube.com/Indoor Adventures to check up on all of the VODs of each of the games that we have played up until this point, or you can find us anywhere audiocasts are made available for free. And speaking of things that are being made available for free, we are going to be going into our Patreon-supported after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community. So if you have any questions that you would like to ask myself or any of these other fine folk, feel free to join us in the Discord link found below in the description of this video or audiocast, and we will do our best to respond in kind. But until then, I would like to say once again, thank you to everybody who decided to stop on by. Thank you to these players for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And we'll see all of you guys next time. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!